Well, in the woods again, doing a bass fishing video. It's what I am. It's where I are. It's what I always probably do. Not fishing. Gonna talk about that and a couple other things. Nothing major. I'm gonna need some opinions, some ideas. It's all cool, y'all. It's beautiful. I'll be right back. I'm Dale Verts. I'm the old school guy. And it's a dandy one in the Ozark Hills today. Shirt sleeves and bleeding. That's what happens when you cut woods on all these briars, multi-floor roads. It's a bane. Gonna be 56 or so degrees again today. It was nice like that yesterday. Gonna be nice like that for several days. Of all things, y'all, the boat's hooked up in my other truck. We went out yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening, went out and had some dinner down by the lake and went looking. Launch ramp's wide open. A lot of bass boat trailers. Every trailer in the parking lot was a bass boat trailer. Man, on a Tuesday afternoon, just crazy how many people fish anymore. I don't know, 12, 15 boats. So I hooked the boat up last night, pulled it out of the mud, did a very few things to it, took all that broken A-rig stuff out of the boat. I will use them pieces off them spinners and the ball bearing swivels. I'm going to do a project. I'm going to make that another video. I left this morning a little bit before 8. Wife fixed my breakfast for me, had coffee. Fixed me a couple peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, which I still have one right here, and one still on the boat. Went to let my neighbor, actually where I'm at right now, this landowner, my neighbor, my fishing partner at one time or two, let his chickens out because he asked me to. I pull up in the yard and turn around, pull the chickens out. I come out, I'm looking out, I'm thinking, dadgummit, you forgot your wallet. And meanwhile, which I don't listen to the radio, the news had been on while I was letting the chickens out, and it come on weather report, they're saying 80% chance of rain tomorrow. I got problems. Well, I got a lot of problems. Y'all know that. If you watch this channel before, you know that. I got chores to do. I got wood to cut. This is for my restaurant. It won't be real cold this weekend. We still got to have a fire. My restaurant itself is heated only with wood, which we love. Man, if you ain't never had wood heat, you don't get it. Think about all the other things I need to do, and I can do in the rain tomorrow, paperwork and stuff. So you know what? I come back home. My wife just shakes her head. The second time I've done that last year or so. Leave with the boat and come back before I go to the lake. My brain, my mind, my heart won't let me fish and have fun if I have chores to do. And if I would have went fishing, as gorgeous as it is, oh my gosh, it's a beautiful day. A little bit of haze, very low breeze. I'd have had a ball. But I've been thinking all the time about the work. There's time to go fishing. So that's the intro to the story that I want to talk about. That I gotta have something to drabble on about because that's what I do. Had to put my solar bats on, getting bright. Link in the description. About that video yesterday or whenever when I posted it, because sometimes you don't never know when you're going to do these videos. Sometimes I do them the same day. This is the next day after I did the A-rig thing, which was funny, a joke, mostly lighthearted, and most everybody got that. Except I watched it close. I never watch my videos, what they do, algorithms and stuff, so rarely do I ever look up that. But I watched it yesterday because I talked about it so much for a day, posted a couple times it was going to happen, and watch the views. And you watch people, how many people are watching it live. And after the first half hour, my approval rating was like 60%. My approval rating on my videos many times runs 100%. I'm so tickled with that. Of course, so many times it runs 97, 98%. There's always that one or two guys. I think they click on there, dislike it, and leave. It don't hurt me. I'm not making money on this. And I can. How ridiculous is that? I only had one negative comment so far. Of course, the comments are coming. I had like 63 comments as of this morning, which is awesome. That means people are looking at it. That means I'm pulling a few strings and tugging a few threads and getting in a few people's butts. The deep fish thing is what I want to talk about. That's what this little video is really about. I've already went on too long, of course. That's what I do. Yeah, I tell you, it's a beautiful day. I'm getting some sun. Oh my gosh. I'm not fishing. I love any kind of bass fishing, without technology, of course. When I first started bass fishing, it was typical. My first bass lure was a topwater plug, a Nippadiddy. Look that up. Super. What a day. I remember that day so well. And being a typical 13-year-old bass fisherman, I was a shallow water fisherman. There wasn't nothing to fish but shallow. I mean, I could maybe reach 7 or 8 foot of water someplace that I fished. Actually, my first big bass come about 10 foot deep over that next year. My first one over 6. It was probably 10 or 12 foot deep. Old quarry pond kind of thing. But anyway, beside the point. I don't care what it takes. I like to bass fish. I like to do it, everything. I hate spinning tackle, but by gosh, I got 5 of them in the boat right now. I think. I haven't seen them for a month. I made it a point over years to be, if not a master at every technique, to be at least proficient at every technique. From topwater to a jig and spoon. The deep water thing, it came along fairly quickly. I was still fishing out of a John boat with a maybe trolling motor. I don't know. I mean, on my little lake before tournament stuff even. I don't know. But I just know I remember thinking it's cool to catch a fish 15 or 20 foot deep. And for me, 15, 20 foot deep was deep. I mean, if you can't touch the bottom of the flipping stick, you're deep, right? That's a Greg Hackney, Cliff Prochet. That's me. But the deep water thing then became a skill set, an art form to learn, and I did fairly well. I was a structure fisherman. I could read topo maps and use my depth finder, mostly a flasher back then, to figure stuff out. And I was tickled with it. It's a whole nother thing. And I learned a long time ago, more fish live deep, 9 months out of the year than live shallow. That's just known that since I was in high school, just out of high school. Truman Lake taught me that. How many bass, though, have I killed over the years I thought were fine? We don't know. I would love to think almost none of them. But I know how many bass we had to play with and mess with in live well before we knew about fizzing them. I had a buddy once with a night tournament, one of those 12-hour deals. I started catching bass, 6:30 at night. Before it got dark, of course, there was a housefly. Isn't that beautiful? Squirrel! Got a housefly on my chainsaw over there. It's spring. You got to really work hard to watch my videos, don't it? It takes something, don't it? At night, at evening tournament, I caught 3 keepers right off the bat about 40 foot deep. Now, Geet Hibden said they weren't that deep. Later on, he realized they were, but they were 40 foot. This tree hung off this bluff. It had slid down the bluff. It's hanging off over 80 foot of water. The top of it was 40 foot deep, and that's where the fish were, right on top of that brush. And I put those fish pretty quick in a live weight. About they're bouncing around. And you'd go up and a rod would go down. You set the hook. My buddy checks on them because he was pretty good about that. And he said, man, 2 of these fish are floating belly up. He sat back there and played with them. He put ice in there on them. He played with them until they were swimming upright. He played with them till dark. He didn't hardly fish. Good for him. Did they live through it later? Because I tell you, those fish, you couldn't tell what they were. You set the hook at 40 foot deep, start cranking. And the fight wasn't much because you're putting a whoop on them, I think. When I was 10 years old, deep sea fishing out of Destin, Florida. Awesome day. I remember a lot of that day too. Just dropping bait down to 100, 150 foot of water. And the thing was, you couldn't feel nothing. They said, drop the bait when it quits falling, engage the reel, and start cranking. And so many times you'd have fish, you wouldn't even know it till it's halfway up, and they'd be dead. I didn't realize at the time. There wasn't hardly any catch and release there. How many times did I do that to bass in just recent years? So the real skinny is this. December 31st, that last tournament, there was bass at the launch ramp, at least 2 and 3 swimming belly up. One of them regurgitated a big old shad, swimming on their sides, and distended bladders, no doubt. And I saw purple and red and fireworks, and I should have probably went up there and made a scene, but I got respect for the guy running tournaments, and I couldn't figure out to do anything but make myself look like the ass I probably am. And the only answer for me to why that happened, A-rigs in 20, 25 foot of water. Argument is we've caught fish deep forever. Not before A-rigs. Yes, we have. And how many of them have we killed? My argument back, it's not really a guy made a statement. My argument back is this, and you guys tell me what you think. And not just the guys that are liking me and getting along with me and, oh, we're brothers seeing eye to eye, which is just wonderful. You guys are like, you don't know nothing. Let me know what you think in a positive manner. I think over the years, not very many guys have been good at deep fishing. I know how many club tournaments and buddy tournaments I fished with guys and getting invited to fish with people, they did not fish deep. They was looking at the bank all the time within casting range. I mean, 90+% of them. So I think that is a big deal that's changed, obviously, because of forward-facing sonar, because of the technology. They're looking to fish. And also, being that they're looking to fish, they're catching a higher percentage of them than by far. That's not even an argument. And I would think summertime, it's easier to kill a bass in summer, no doubt in my mind, but maybe something about bringing a fish up deep from wintertime, maybe it's harder on them than we think. Of course, what you look at is water temperature basically the same all the way down to where those fish are from the surface. It's going to start getting warmer down low before too long. It'll be slightly warmer. Well, probably is by now. It wasn't on the 31st of December. I don't know. I've been intending, I don't know any biologists anymore personally. I used to know them all. I worked with them here in Missouri. I need to find out what people think, maybe try to look up some studies. Maybe y'all can help me with that. Fact is, we are more efficient at catching deep water fish. More people are doing it, or catching more fish are doing it. And I believe we're killing a lot of bass. And I am having a hard time wanting to fish deeper than 20 feet or whatever. And it's a major part of the game, unless you're not fishing tournaments. So again, a lot of rambling. I know. It's what I do, y'all. I'm getting to be an old guy. I'm not quite there yet. I love bass fish. I love the outdoors. Look at, man, y'all. Boy, it'd be a great afternoon to go squirrel hunting. Oh, goodness gracious. I got some more work to do. I got more trees to cut down. I got to haul wood to the restaurant. I'm going to haul wood to the house when I'm done doing that, because you never have enough firewood. I'd like to hear what y'all got to think about my situation. I believe a bass that chases a bait, and I've caught bass, boy, see how I wonder. Bull Shoals Lake one year was catching bass here from 30, 35 foot of water on top waters over the long points. It was a thing. I don't know if it still is or not. I mean, some good, and it was hilarious because the water's crystal clear. You see them come up like a torpedo and blast that spook. But I think in doing it of their own accord, their bladders, I think it's a whole different thing. And it's yanking. I think their bladders change right better. I just don't know. I kind of wish I had well, it wouldn't be the same. A big old aquarium, even a farm pond, except it'd be different conditions. Put the fish in from deep water and see what happens. I think we're killing a lot of bass. I think anytime I'm seeing guys handle bass all the time behind the gills and grabbing them by the body with gloves on, I don't care what time of year, that's wrong. Using a measuring board without wetting it first, I think is wrong. And tossing them back over your shoulder. I saw another video yesterday. Somebody flung that bass. Just give it a toss. Actually, I saw one last night too. The ones they didn't put in the cooler to eat, fling them over the shoulder. No respect. Oh well. So that's it. It went on way longer than I should just cut to the point. That's not what I do. If y'all don't like it, watch Martha Stewart. I don't care. I'm going back to work. Appreciate y'all. God bless. Peace out. Hope it's like this around where you're at right now.